who has not muted and muted themselves. Unmute yourself. I'll mute you just a few seconds. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I am a director.
Thank you so much. Those who have confessed that, you will see it happening, and there's no doubt about that. So we are here to first of all congratulate you. First of all, congratulate you for enormous job that you've done. This is not a meeting for everyone. It's just for the few who really did such an amazing job that this coming month of April, you can very easily hit director. It's so amazing that some of you joined last month and you almost got to 4,000 points. Some joined 2 weeks to the close of the month and you almost got 4,000 points. And what we are saying is that for all of us who opened the window, that's why we invited you here. If you do 4,000 points in the month of April, then you are a fully qualified director. That is the justice you did to yourself by opening the director window. And just before I go on, I really want to appreciate some invited special guests here who are not here because they want to become directors, but because they are you are applying directors. So I recognize the presence of all the directors in this call. Unfortunately, some have not put their videos on, so I can only talk of Lydia Mwesa. And there's also Alice Munyenze. Alice is one of our last month's directors, new directors. Oh, congratulations, Alice. We really appreciate you. Congratulations, well done. We also had last month, Grace Wakio becoming a brand new director last month. Congratulations, Grace. We also had Eunice Kirago, a brand new director last month, well done. And we had Catherine Mwaura, a brand new director last month. Well done. That was amazing. Those are people who were last month beginning where you are now. Did you hear that? These are people who at the beginning of last month of March, they were where you are now. But by the close of the month, they closed as directors. What does that tell you? That you are starting the month as a senior manager or a manager, but by the end of this month of April, you will be a fully qualified director. And that's amazing. Now, there's a reason why not so many people become directors. There's a good reason. I'm happy to see Yvonne with a very big notebook to write. No, don't write why they don't become. You start writing when we start sharing why the few who become directors. Now, the reason why many people don't become directors, and only a few become, is twofold. But one of it is they really don't know what they should do to become directors, lack of knowledge. But the second one is that others know what they should do, but they don't commit. They are interested in becoming a director, but they don't commit to become a director. And so this meeting is meant to give you two things. One, the knowledge on what you should do to become a director, but number two, to challenge you to be committed from day one of the month that you are becoming a director this month, and you remove all the other alternatives. The problem is we work out the business with alternatives that if I don't become a director in the month of April, then I'll become in May. And guess what will happen when we get to May? You will say, if I don't become a director in the month of May, then I'll win in June. Do I have to tell you what will happen in June? The same trend. and therefore you never become. Why should you become a director? Why should it be like an urgent thing for you to become a director? Why? Let me show you why. Why should you? Let me show you why. Now, when you think about all these benefits, of becoming a director, then you want to become one yesterday. And on this note, I challenge us to go for it. It's not a walkover. Let's be honest with each other. It's not a walkover. It's not so easy. If it was so easy, then everyone would have become a director, and it wouldn't even be a big deal to celebrate you that you've become a director. Now, the first great benefit, though some people don't look at it as a benefit, is that you get that title. The title itself is big enough for some of us. When I was called a director, my goodness, my blood circulation changed. My walking style changed. Oh, it's not that you can't see if I start demonstrating the walking, how I started walking when I became a director, but you can imagine. My language changed. My confidence in talking to friends went to another very high level, you know? And I would feel very good when, as I was interacting with the people, those who know that I'm a director would say, let the director say something. Oh. So become a director and enjoy that title. It gives you a high level of influence. You're able to influence your friends to join your business. And those who are not sure of whether they should join or not, whether it works or not, now you can easily influence them to join. And not only your friends, when you become a director, then you're able to influence your team more. Think of your few teammates that you have in your team. I don't like calling them downlines. So even when I call them downlines, just know that it's for the sake of simplifying so that it's easy to understand. But we prefer calling the people below you success lines. Call them success lines and they will feel that they are succeeding with you. Call them downlines and they will feel that they are way below there, they are juniors. And you don't want that. Now, the second benefit is that only when you are a fully qualified director will you ever be paid at 25%. That's why when you look at the checks or the bonuses for a senior manager and for a director, the gap is very huge. Because when you are a senior manager, the highest you can be paid at is 20% of your BVs and the BVs of your team and all that. But when you are a director, then you are paid at 25%, which is a high level of payment. And then in addition to your bonus payment, which by now you have seen from the testimonies of our directors is around 90,000. But before you really establish a good structure for your business, you'll get anything between 60,000 and 90,000, because sometimes you might become a director, but your structure, the width of your business is not really well established. It's not wide enough. In our business, we can discuss this one much later, but in our business, when your business is wide, your network is wide, then you earn too much money. Now, when it is deep, then your business becomes very stable. The best scenario is where you achieve both the width and the depth. Unfortunately, you might not be able to achieve the two at the same time. One is likely to come before the other, but finally you have achieved both the width and the depth. So now that's it about earning at the maximum percentage, that is 25%. And then in addition to that, you get some cash incentives. On Tuesday, tomorrow, as usual, we'll be incentivizing our brand new directors. Charles and Elizabeth, but now we cannot really continue calling them brand new directors. They were at the end of last month, but one. Now they are redundant old directors by the coming in of brand new directors. But Charles and Beth are the last people who earned 10,000 Kenya shillings incentive from us. And when you become a director, again, your applying director might earn something extra on top of that. So that's another benefit, cash incentives. Then lifestyle invitation, you well know that were it not for what is happening with these lockdowns and restrictions to go to hotels, we would be joining, you would be joining us for a breakfast in a 5-star hotel this week. Now, we haven't canceled, we cannot cancel. When you become a director, you join us for that breakfast. So those who became directors, I can see Ales Munyenza is really waiting to hear what now? What now? What now? Now that there is no going to hotels. You know what, the minute they say now hotels can be reopened, we'll be there. We'll be there and we'll communicate in good time. And that will also be the case for those who are becoming directors this month of April. So let's go for it. Then we have leadership school. It's likely to be in Mombasa in those coastal hotels. Once things have settled down, then you're given a director folder, written director, a very executive one. Then world-class recognition. Even in the highest meetings, when you attend, you'll be recognized as a director. It will be a crime for you not to be recognized as a director. I challenge you, if they don't recognize you, walk to the stage at KICC and remind them that you are a director. Then you enjoy high-end training for business mastery. There are some levels of training that you will now start being part of, and they will help you to really be able to build a very stable business. And finally, accelerated growth through sponsoring. Because when you're a director, you have all what we have talked about up there, all the other benefits, then you can be able to convince many more people that they need to be part of your business. In any case, when you have achieved too much, you don't even work so hard to convince them. They start asking you, can I join? All right. So that is it. And I want first to stop sharing the slides there because the rest of it I will do without sharing slides. And I suggest that this month, all of us must be celebrated as directors and we start enjoying those benefits. Now, I want to use this word, that this has to happen at all costs. All right? Sarah Yamo, I can see is really like, okay, at all cost, all right? Yeah, guys, what do you achieve of substance without sacrifice? And did you know the greater the sacrifice, the greater the reward? The greater the sacrifice, the greater the reward. Don't wait for it to happen. Please go for it. Make it happen. But then we'll be there to help you to have it done. From today moving on forward, make sure that you are disturbing your applying director completely. Don't give them breathing space. The new directors will tell you it was them and the apply director like this. Them and apply director. You have to work with your apply director like this, as if your apply director doesn't have anyone else to support other than you. Now, let's get to some quick planning. And those who came in late, we agree that unless you are in such a terrible background, then you should put your videos on because we are just few and these are the directors by the end of the month and we don't want to be strangers when we meet in a 5-star hotel for breakfast. You want to say, I saw you in that meeting. All right, so put your videos on. Now, for you to become a director, you need to reason from two perspectives. The first one is in terms of personal points that you need, and then the team points. Personal points and the team points. Remember, here we are talking of 4,000 points, but not you alone. It is you and your team, 4,000 points, you and your team. But then we are different in our strengths. There are some of us who are too good in moving products, too good, exceptionally good in moving products. I know of some who on monthly basis do like 4,000 or 5,000 points on their own. And unfortunately, such people often, you realize that they don't sponsor, and not that they are not willing, only that sponsoring is just a nightmare for them. I think God has a way of balancing sometimes, you know? So the starting point is identify this 4,000 points, which is the easier way of getting the 4,000 points for you as an individual. If you are too good in selling, then start thinking of, I must have 2,000 personal points this month, or 1,000 or 3,000 personal points. I don't know whether Titani is here, but she will tell you for her, within the first 3-4 days, she had sold the first product she bought worth 500 points, and she had too many orders. You've sold everything you've bought, and you have not yet satisfied so many customers. So for such a person, she should now start thinking of, how can I push it to even 3,000 alone, even before I think of the team? So how many personal points do you want to do this month? You must write it down and you commit that I will go for it. There are some of us who can comfortably do 1,000 points, but just because you didn't write it down and commit to do it, you end up doing only 300 points. And I'm talking from experience. Just the other year, not the other day, but the other year, because now it's a few years ago. Pieros and myself, effort combined, we used to do 200 points. And with the 200 points, 300 points, we could feel like we have done a lot. But we committed that we will be doing never less than 1,000 personal points. And that is exactly what has been happening every single month for a couple of years. So it's a matter of committing, but then be realistic. If you are very good at sharing the products, then go for it. Mushidi told me the other day, oh, for moving products, my goodness, I know how to do it online. And he told me in a few months, you should be able to do thousands and thousands of points every single month. He's in the call, and if that is what he told me, then he should be nodding like this. Mushidi Elijah. If that is the case, you should be nodding like this, all right? Then, still on that personal points, you decide, okay, I want to do 1,000 points this month. I want to do 500 personal points this month. So at the very beginning of the month, I will discipline myself to do X, Y, Z points. And by the way, never fear doing it like this. Take your money, buy products that you feel, this is the line I love dealing with. If you are a farmer like Faith Gaira, you can focus more on Super and Grow. If you are, who else? Others specialize on skincare and all that. Then you decide, let me buy products first, day one of the month for 500 points, then I can sell. Janet Mumanyi is also there, another person for Super and Grow. you know. That's one way of making sure that you've laid a very good foundation for your director step. I'm tempted to repeat that point. You know this is the man that you want to do 4,000 points. And you don't want alternatives to getting the 4,000 points. So what you do is, try to reduce those points at the very beginning. And I'll be so excited to see this happening tomorrow or Wednesday, where someone has done 500 points so that they know I am left with not 4,000, but 3,500. Now, directors are in this call, and I will tell you that we also like running with those who seem to be on motion. All right, if you seem to be on motion, then you attract, naturally, you attract the attention of your director so that they know this is the director for this month. This is the director for this month. So you now have too much attention on you that even by around 20th or 25th, you are done. You are done with the director step. This is what happened with the Kirago Eunice and Catherine Mwaura. From the beginning of the month, they started moving quite fast, and I discovered these people are so set. Guess what? We worked with them at the end of the month when Catherine was the success line and Eunice, when Catherine was closing at 4,000 points, Eunice Kirago was closing at 8,000 points plus. 8,000 points plus instead of 4,000. Eunice Koech is like, man, yeah, it's doable. It's possible, by the way. There is nothing that is impossible. But then you must really release yourself into it. I remember when I was learning how to, without diverting very much, when I was learning how to swim, my goodness, I had almost given up completely. I thought maybe I am too heavy, I cannot float, because I have done physics and I know those laws of flotation and, you know, but I had concluded that my body is not shaped to float. It's meant to swim. But then one day, someone challenged me and told me, you know what? It's only that you are fearing. You are fearing that you might you know, drown. Just release yourself and assume you are just up there as, you know, something light to float. And I did that. I'm telling you, up to now, I am shocked that I am a swimmer. Okay, not an expert, a swimmer. So don't be shocked to hear that Kirago closed at 8,000 points. It's so easy for, no, it's not so easy. It's so doable for everyone in this call. So I expect for those of us who have, you know, committed that this is the month, I expect on, you know, tomorrow or Wednesday latest to see some 500 points, 300 points, 250 points, you know, something like that. And when you set yourself on motion like that, you're likely to find yourself moving and moving and moving throughout the month. Now, after we are through with that issue of personal points, remember the rest of the points must come from where? From your team. Now, if you have 0 people in your team, we are saying that the rest of the points will come from that 0 team. So you better convert that 0 to something else. You better convert that 0 to something else. And I want to demystify the issue of sponsoring, because the only way you don't get the other thousands from your team is by creating the team. Now you must remove the mentality that sponsoring is hard. That must be very far from your head. Put the notion in your mind that, by the way, engage in a positive self-talk when it comes to sponsoring. You can go around saying, I love sponsoring. I love talking to people and giving them hope. This month I'm sponsoring 10. You know, you start talking to yourself like that, and you'll be shocked that people will come your way. Just a few months ago, last year, there's a month we agreed with the PROs. This month we are sponsoring 25. And every morning we could remind each other it is 25. We were used to sponsoring 8 or 7, 6, 9, like that. So 25 was also quite optimistic. And the directors in this call will remember that. And do you know that month we sponsored 24 personal, not with the team, personal. 1, 2, 3, 24. That is almost one person every day except Sundays. Hey, thank you, Christine Were, for clapping for me. I can see that clap. May God bless and open your way. You know? All right. Okay, I can see others are also clapping. Be blessed, be blessed, be blessed. All right. So that's the starting point, ladies and gentlemen, that you first, and you are not trying to convince yourself. It is true, by the way, it's easy for you to sponsor. And then now you release yourself into talking to people, what we call prospecting. Those of us who are good at using social media, this should not be an issue at all. Those of us who feel like I'm not good at social media, that is just an attitude. That's just an attitude. It doesn't matter your age. Lydia Mwesa is here, and last month I saw her dive into social media proper. She even had, because she was a bit rooted in the world of analog way of doing things, she even had to pay someone to train her on how to really use social media. And today she's doing it very well. She made all those silly mistakes that you can never think of when she was starting. It's okay to make mistakes for you to be wise. Today, I think I can even give her a session to train on social media. So whatever the platform, whether it's social media or it's even WhatsApp, by the way, Eunice, is WhatsApp part of social media? I want to believe so. Yeah, because it's social. I mean, WhatsApp, it's not physical. So use all those platforms to make sure that you are prospecting as many people as possible. And when you talk to friends and they say no, that is a very good place to be, where someone is telling you no. I love hearing that word, no. Because it simply means not now, next opportunity. If a young joined now, if the young joined now, how would I handle them? It's good that some don't join now so that I'm able to handle the few who have joined now. Then those others can join later, next opportunity. Again, if someone tells you no, that's very nice. Much better than the person who tells you, let me go and think. Because you are at that point, then you are dealing with someone who is not thinking. And it's dangerous. They want to go and start thinking elsewhere. So it's better the one who tells you no than the one who tells you, let me go and think. All right. So we must do massive sponsoring. It's not optional. And let me tell you why sponsoring is so sweet, so good. When you sponsor people, when you sponsor people, it's not just for that current month. I was sponsored going to 11 years ago. So my sponsor, although he quit, that's a story for another day, was not to benefit just that current month. You can see people laughing at me that my sponsor quit. Yes. The most, I almost say the most foolish, nikakumbuka nimeokoka. But I mean, you would be so foolish for you to quit this business and you leave your downlines, people below you, enjoying life, and you, the angel who brought them to the business, you are not there to enjoy. That is what happened with my sponsor. He was not able to sponsor anyone else except me the first 2 months. Then the third month, when he saw that I'm really sponsoring, he asked me to give him some people, and he is my upline. So all my people are also his. And he wants now, instead of me sponsoring people under myself, I sponsor them under him, meaning I will never benefit. And because I understood the business a bit, I knew that can't work. So I told him, no, I can't give you someone, because even when they are under me, they are still under you. And he told me, if you're not giving me some of them, I am quitting. I didn't tell him kwa mdomo quit, but kimoyomoyo nilisema umechelewa. Anyway, that was the worst mistake he made, because today he would be a multi-millionaire, but he's still borrowing money and struggling in life. May God help him and have mercy on him. He brought the opportunity to me, and he has not benefited from it. I almost said, let's have 1 minute of silence in respect of him, but wachana naye. So let's do massive sponsoring. Now, when you sponsor people, no, before you go to that, how do you massively sponsor people? Even those who have not sponsored anyone up to now, please know that it's possible. And this is the easiest way of sponsoring people. First, you've met with someone, a friend of yours, and you are excited, truly excited. If you're not truly excited, forget, you will not sponsor anyone. Nobody wants to follow people who are behaving like they are going for a barrio. People want to follow people who look like they know where they are going. They are excited. By the way, even if you are too angered by some things or someone, and then you meet someone, please change just for a few minutes. Just be excited for a few minutes. After that, you can go back to your normal mood. But when you meet someone, hi, how have you been? Hey, long time. How is Easter? So that you don't lose that chance to sponsor that person. So be excited. Even when you are talking over the phone, the other person on the other end can tell whether you are excited or you are not. So number one, be excited. Then number two, don't talk so much about the opportunity unless you are sure you have really mastered the game and you can really win others into it. But before then, instead of kueleza sana, instead of explaining so many things, what you do is be very brief. Tell them, I'm super excited. God has shown me an opportunity that is changing my life big time. And I'm also very lucky to be connected to someone who is mentoring me. And I will invite you to have a look at the opportunity. You tell me whether it's something you can also do. Right? And at the same time, you can even brag with your upline director. And you tell this friend of yours, and by the way, I was to talk with my mentor. Let me see whether anaweza kuwa available so that you can also say hi. And he or she will be so excited. And if you are lucky maybe to engage me, let them know that you are talking with the president. Hey, they will know hata sio mchache. Then when you call me or you call your upline, please don't talk too much again as if you are presenting to your upline. You just tell your upline, hi, I know you are busy, Mr. President, but I was just checking whether you might have a minute. I'm with my good friend here, a dreamer like myself. And I wanted, even if you're not talking much, just to say hi, I'm sure you'll be meeting. And that's enough. Then I take it from there. Oh my, I will use all the ones that I spared for 11 years from when I joined. I'll use those ones to make sure, that your person cannot even sleep so that they can join you. The idea is your upline director should help you to sponsor, but you must initiate. So you see now, when you invite them for the meeting, they will definitely come because your upline director or the president took them to another level, you know. The other one is a three-way call. Three-way call is where you are not physically with that person. You were talking over the phone. Then now at that point of saying hi to your upline director or president or wound team, you now add me or you add your upline director to the call so that now it's a three-way call. You, your friend, and your upline director, 3 people. That's what we call three-way call. It's something very simple to do. You better try it out. And that helps you at this time of Corona to also reach out to people out there that you would not have reached. And of course, now the third one is where if you have not managed the other first 2, you smartly try to go ahead and invite them for the Zoom meeting. And for us in this call, never ever accept to miss any training or any opportunity meeting. Never accept that. And when you are attending an opportunity meeting for those who don't know, opportunity meeting is the meeting meant for guests, first timers, so that they can see the opportunity. But then you must also be there. Don't send them. Now, prepare very well, be strategic that for every opportunity meeting, you have some guests, who have confirmed attendance. And if you have some people in your team, your success lines, please, it is your duty, if you are smart enough, to make sure that they also attend within guests. So I'm saying this, if it's like, let's say Eunice, and you have sponsored 3 people, for example, be there, yes, with your 5 or 10 guests, but remember, if you are 3, let me call them downlines just for now. If you are 3 downlines, each has got 5, then that's another extra 15. So you have a large group listening to the opportunity. And therefore, both you and your downlines are likely to sponsor. Now, get this mathematics. If you want to become a director easily, then in the month of April, you and your team, you must sponsor between 18 to 24. 18 to 24 new people. 18 to 24 new people. Please note that. That's from experience. Let me explain why 18 to 24. If you and your team, in the month of April, you sponsor 18 to 24, which again, I will want to explain a bit how you easily get that number. Then we are saying, supposing a third, from experience, supposing a third of the people you have sponsored do 500 points each. That is the step straight to senior manager, like a good number of us in this call did. Then taking the 18, we are saying a third of 18 is 6. So 6 senior managers means 6 times 500 points, which is 3,000 points. 3,000 points from your team. So how many points should you do personal? 1,000. Right. But of course, we are assuming that if you had a few other members there before, they would also earn some points. So you may not really need to do a whole 1,000, it could be 500 or less. But supposing you do 24, you and your team, you sponsor 24. Then a third of 24 is 8. 8 senior managers, each senior manager is 500 points, then that gives you 4,000 points. Therefore, even from your team alone, before you include your own personal points, which should never be less than 250 points anyway, you're already at 4,000 points. So you can see the numbers game. The more, the easier it becomes for you. Now, for you to sponsor 18 to 24, especially if you don't have a team currently, there are some of us here who don't have a team. Your team is you and yourself. Now, if that's the case, then what you do is sponsor a few people, let's say 4 or 5, in the first few days of the month, so that in the second week, you already have some people in your downline who are already sponsoring as you try to sponsor more. Now that becomes very easy for you to get the 18 to 24. But supposing you are very tough, but then you start sponsoring the last week of the month. You are very tough in sponsoring, but you start sponsoring the last week of the month. Then the 5 people you have sponsored that last week don't have time to also sponsor. How I wish that you had sponsored them at the beginning of the month. So this is the game we played, some of us who have really succeeded. You sponsor very early in the month, so that now you are left with perhaps helping the people that you have sponsored. I can tell you today, the work Pieros and myself have been doing more this morning was trying to get some people paying so that we see whether in day 1 we can have a few registering. That's the game. I know I've spent some quality time on that issue of sponsoring because it's everything. And as I've said, if you can work crazy, and you get some serious characters joining your business, then that effort will not just be paid that current month, but the rest of your life. 6 months from today, you will really enjoy the benefits of the sponsoring you did 6 months ago. All right. So let's sponsor massively. Do that. Now, before I wind up, and perhaps if there's any question, you can be typing on the chat so that we respond to them very fast and we finish in the next 10 minutes. I want to say this. When you sponsor people, please don't wait for your upline to be the one to communicate about meetings, about anything. Be the leader. We say you must behave like a director to become a director. Don't wait until you become a director for you to behave like a director. No, you must behave like a director for you to become one. Mwesa might remember, and the Kanya I can see is also on the call, you might remember that we used to have some mock before, I don't know whether I was a president then, can't remember, but we used to have some mock where you would walk like a president. We would tell you now, imagine you are a brand new president and now you are being called to the stage at KICC to be recognized as a president. And we tell you, now we call you literally and you start walking as a president. Oh, and that's how some of us became presidents, others stepped up to higher levels. And therefore I'm saying, start also behaving like a director. Get to your room where there is a mirror and you walk like a director and you address people. On the mirror, of course, it's only one listener, yourself. You address them as a director. So now I'm saying in terms of communicating to your team, please take that as your full responsibility to make sure that your teammates, the people in your downline, don't miss the meeting. Like today at 8 p.m. we have the training for guests. Have you called your few distributors to make sure that, to confirm that they have massively invited? I know many of us perhaps might not have thought about it that way. As long as you've invited, you expect that lazima hata director ameambia hata hao wengine wa invite. No, it's better that both of you tell them than they fail to be told and reminded and psyched to invite. The same for the trainings like tomorrow. Tuesday. Take it as your responsibility to make sure that your field distributors are in that training. All right? And check on the attendees, the participants. Check who is in and who is not. Do that roll call. Then after as the meeting is going on, you can easily text, I cannot see you in the meeting. What could be happening? Oh, you built a very mature team, a team that is well developed. And that is the team to take you not just to director, but to Sapphire and all those other levels and steps. That's how you become a director. But in a nutshell, make sure you are talking with your upline director almost daily. Janet used to call me every day. That's why she's smiling. But she stopped and the director slowed down. So make sure you engage your director almost on a daily basis. And that way you realize that 4,000 points is too little. 4,000 points, too little. Let's go for it. And for those who have come late, we all had agreed that this is the month we are becoming directors, and everyone shouted that. I had unmuted everyone and they shouted that. So those who came late and those who may want to repeat the same, you can always type down there that April is my month for director, you know. Maybe God wasn't looking at, wasn't listening when you first shouted that you're becoming a director. Now you can text there so that you can see, yes, this is the month you're becoming a director. And if there's any question, this is the time to ask. We have 4.5 minutes for any burning question. You can always raise up your hand, not necessarily easy, but you are digital, you know where you click to raise your hand if you have a question, or you type it down there. Eunice, are you raising your hand or you are putting the lenses the way they should be? Okay. Yvonne, you have a question or you are checking on your lipstick? Okay. All right. Now question. We are, okay, April is my month to become a director. Yamo, yes. And if you are in Nairobi, please try to see your upline director physically. I'm trying to tell Yamo that I expect her in the office on tomorrow. All right. So that you can draw an actual plan together with your director to enrich what we have discussed here. Right? I am in this April. Thank you, Leah Titani. Even when you are driving, you can afford to type, but stop typing now for safety. All right, so if there is no question, then we will stop at this.